everyone. Welcome to Radiant Living, Inspiring Humanity to Thrive. I'm your host, Marisa B. And today I have with me spiritual guide, energy healer, and soul path activator. Let's please welcome Deirdre Selby. Hi, Deirdre. Thank you so much for coming today.
So wonderful to be here.
The first question I have for you is, how did you get started in all this? Because I just gave a quick little intro. So, of course, you can intro yourself, because I know, for example, like I do Qigong, you also do Qigong. You have Qigong energy healing behind you. And you also have Auric Energy Medicine, which is something I'm going to ask you about afterwards. But can you explain to the audience a little bit about how you got started on this path?
Hi, everyone. Marisa B here from Radiant Living. If you like what we're doing and want to keep the conversations going, please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know every time we upload a video. Thank you.
You know, it's funny. I got straight off this path very young, like so many of us. As a kid, I got scared off this path and moved away from it. And then when I had my son, a little bit late in life, he came in without a veil. And it took us a while to figure out what was going on with him. But all of the friends, all of the kids he was playing with were on the other side. And so my son was a little bit like that movie, Sixth Sense. All of his friends were dead kids.
Mm-hmm.
And he would get really, really angry with us because we would not acknowledge his friends. He did not even realize that we could not see them or that they were dead. To him, there was no difference between a spirit child and a living child. And later, when he was about 7, he was diagnosed with autism. And the doctors wanted me to put him on medication. I saw this kid with this amazing gift. And I went, no way am I going to deaden this gift.
Mm-hmm.
And this was 23 years ago. And there was no internet. There was no ability to simply find leaders like we have today. And I started looking for spiritual guides. And you couldn't drop off an autistic 9-year-old with a spiritual healer. So mom had to go enter into training along with him. So Sean and I entered into training together. Sean to find his veil, find the ability to see the difference between those on the other side and those that were living, to create the veil that most of us have so naturally, and me to reattach, to re-find my spiritual core.
That's some road, huh?
It's been
some road you went down, because, the innocence of a child. I mean, I find that amazing, right? Because to him, they were just there next to him, right? They were there. They were playing with him. They were next to him. That's amazing, right? Because he had no idea that no one else could see them.
Yeah, no idea. And he would be very, very angry with us for being so rude.
Yeah.
And
that's a lot for a child too, though, right? Once they do find out. I mean,
yeah.
I applaud you. I applaud you for getting involved, because isn't it so true that he had to learn about that veil that others have? Because it's a heavy burden for a child.
And today he still has to consciously navigate. Today he's 30. Matter of fact, he just had his 30th birthday. And today he has to consciously work the veils between all the different worlds.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas for us, we have to consciously slip past those veils.
Mm-hmm.
So whereas we are consciously working our way through the veils, he is consciously putting them into place.
Mm-hmm. And so then you had to, I guess, do the research, right? Become reacquainted. Because as you said, you had this as a child, but become reacquainted with all of this.
I had to take down all those blocks I had put up.
Mm-hmm.
And for the longest time, I kept telling the different teachers we found along the way that I was simply there as Sean's support system. that I had no gifts, that I had no abilities, that I wasn't there for me. I was simply Sean's support system, that he was amazingly gifted.
Mm-hmm.
And several of them just allowed me to sit in the back seat, and that was fine. And one of them looked at me and said, "Oh, no way, Mama. You are as gifted as he is. Get your butt in the seat and let's get to work." And I am not a seer. However, I know. And she would ask me, and every time my answers were spot on. And
So you're not visual, right? You're not visual.
I'm not visual.
Not necessarily visual.
I'm not visual. I'm not sensory in any way. And I'm still not.
It's funny you say that. Very few people say that. And most people will say they either see or they hear. Very few people, very few people say that they just know.
Yeah. I am still not visual. Occasionally I will get, what they will do is give me a picture. It's almost like you're looking at a kid's storybook, if it's absolutely necessary. But I know, and I am rarely incorrect.
And so now, how does this translate into everything else? Because now you said happy birthday to your son. You say you just recently turned 30. And so he's navigating this still to this day. And how do you bring this into the world? Because as I said, you are involved with energy healing with Qigong, which I love Qigong. I mean, I've done Tai Chi, but I love Qigong. I love the energy of the Qigong.
Because Reiki, you're putting energy in. Qigong, you're pulling energy out. And the two balance each other so beautifully. Because there are some things you need to, well, you need to fill, and other things you need to remove. And when I only had Reiki. Reiki's a beautiful energy. And to be honest, most of the time I use my own unique energy that I work with my guides, because Reiki is a very slow energy. Qigong works best when you work with a group. And again, it can be a very slow energy when you're working with one.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
and now how does that translate to that Auric Energy Medicine? Because you do that. I'd like you to explain to the audience a little bit about that. What exactly is the Auric Energy Medicine, and how is it that you're not only a practitioner, but I know you offer to others, correct?
So Auric Energy Medicine, I don't teach. Reiki, I am
yes, because you're a Reiki Master. Yes.
I'm a Reiki in both, in two different modalities. And
yes.
I rarely teach. I usually send to other people that enjoy the teaching aspect of it. I'm an elementary school teacher. I've done all the.
Yes.
I much prefer teaching people to connect with themselves, as opposed to teaching somebody else's curriculum. I prefer teaching my own curriculum, which is how to learn who you are, and connect to yourself. So I rarely teach Reiki. I know a lot of people that do a really amazing job of it, so I usually send people to them. Right. Auric Energy Medicine works with the different layers of the aura, and we have at least 20 that have been identified. And some have to do with the emotions, and others have to do with your spirituality, and others have to do with light, and others. And if you can identify which layers of the aura an issue is working with, and then you also have different guides that you work with that work with in the different areas. You
have a guest?
I do. I have people talking right outside my door. So the different layers of the aura and the different guides that come in and work with you, I'm actually able to do surgery psychic surgery,
Wow.
through the guides and the aura.
Mhm.
It can be really amazing, the changes. However, if you don't work with people to change the issues that cause the problem, it doesn't matter what you do on an energetic level.
Right.
The issue will return.
Mhm.
I'm sure you have found that.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I mean, from a psychological standpoint, yes. I mean, you have to
Yeah.
address those issues. It's true, but you very well can see it in the aura, correct? I mean, it's
Oh,
there,
it-
regardless of whether individuals believe that it exists or not.
Right.
If you know it's there, then those issues are there as well in those
Yeah.
layers. Yeah.
It's so important to address the underlying causes. It's one of the problems with Western medicine, is Western medicine deals with the symptoms and never addresses the underlying causes.
Yes,
So,
it's true. And I'm wondering if it's because they're not sure. I always find that Western medicine, it's like an art. It's almost like an onion. They peel back layers. Like, do they really ever know that it really is XYZ, or they just know that it's not XYZ? They kind of juggle, I think, right?
right.
Because it's that whole symptom of looking for symptoms and then explaining what those symptoms may be. It's a very
Yeah.
difficult way to approach
And
wellness, I think.
and they don't ever want to get into
Well, yeah.
how are your relationships?
Hmm.
Are you eating properly?
Yes. I'm wondering if it's because the time factor or because it's really that whole wellness that has to come from the beginning, right? We have to evolve with that. And
Yes.
that's a lot of time. That's a lot of time. And I guess their time. And I don't have anything against Western medicine. I always say that. And of course, the diagnostic aspect is fabulous, the technology that's there, but it is a time issue for them. And,
Oh,
it's also our responsibility, right? Our responsibility to be taking care of this vessel ourselves. Can't go, right? Can't go to the doctor and say, fix me when you've done everything wrong.
this is such an amazing vessel.
Hmm.
It can do so much. And we have to be willing to love it, whether it looks like we want it to. It's not about, are we 112 pounds? Are we 27 years old? I'm 68. And closer to 200 pounds than 100. And this body is mine.
Hmm. Right. And there's no way to do it the other way, right? I mean, there's no way to interchange it. I mean, we have to take care of what we have,
Yes.
right? And in
And
the time frame that we have.
and I need to get out with it and move it every day.
Yes.
And I need to feed it a balanced diet that is not processed foods. And I need to take time to meditate and give myself love and be with people who treat me amazingly and choose that for myself.
I think that's the hard part, right? Because a lot of people feel, especially women, that they don't have the right to choose all of that.
Right.
That's why we're here, right? That's why we're discussing these things. That it is absolutely your right
It
to
is
choose
your
yourself.
right to choose. And you have that right to choose, to be treated amazingly. And in return, you need to give that to the people in your life.
Yeah.
You can't just ask
true.
for it if you're not
Right.
giving it.
Right. It's true. It's a give and take.
And you
And I
need to
know we're
choose
human
people.
beings, right? I mean,
Yeah,
we're
you
human
need,
beings, so we do
oh,
fall off the path.
well,
It's work. It's work to do that.
none of us are perfect.
Right. Right.
This is a growing experience. We have chosen to come here to learn.
Mhm.
We are never going to be perfect.
Right. Now, how do you, so if you're a practitioner of these healing arts, but you heal others? I mean, I know you do psychic work for others,
I
and you don't teach any methods, but do you work with other people?
Oh yes, I actually don't consider myself a healer. I consider
Okay.
myself a facilitator.
Mm.
I run a business called Soul Enhancements, and my I'm launching the Oracle Path, which is a group program to connect people to themselves. And I regularly run the Confident Psychic, where people can come in for free and learn about how to connect to themselves. And when I run this, I will tell them how to come in and get my support to work with me. But I give them all kinds of value of learning how to connect to their own psychic abilities. Because, you have this amazing chakra system. And everywhere you go, you learn about the 7 chakras.
Mm-hmm.
But your whole body is filled with chakras.
Right.
We have thousands of them. It's a whole energetic system that lights us up. It's more than a root, a
Right.
sacral, solar plexus, heart, throat, third eye, and crown. You've got chakras in your palms. That's how we do Reiki.
Yes.
It comes through our palm chakras.
Yes, because there's so many more than the 7.
There's so many more. And when anywhere in your body these chakras are off, this can throw off your whole energetic being. You have energetic sovereignty over your being. So many people are empaths. They don't know that their aura is one of their most potent areas of, if they can control their aura, they can control that empathic field so that they don't have to take in everybody else's junk. Most empaths feel that they are at they're an empath, so they're just stuck taking in everybody's junk.
Right.
They have nothing.
Right. They absorb everything. They absorb everything.
They absorb
That's what
everything.
they say.
There's nothing they can do about it. But you can learn, and I teach this in the Confident Psychic for free, how you can work with your aura to create a shield and to use it as a feeler to know where you don't want to go. Because your aura is a gift that you have control of. It's something that you can use. I hear people say all the time, I can't meditate. Because we go onto YouTube and we see all these meditations that require us to sit down and close our eyes. And most of mine require you to do that. But that is one way of meditating. You can meditate by going out walking and connecting to the feel of your steps and the feel of your body as you take a walk. By connecting to each green thing you see. You don't have to sit down. You don't have to meditate in one particular way.
I think a lot of people, they don't know that. They think it's really the one way, and for them it doesn't work, or they think they can't do it.
Right, because they can't sit down yet and focus. But meditation can be done in 20 different ways.
Right.
and you can get the benefits. You can meditate at the market by focusing on your breath, by breathing in and out, and just focusing on your breath.
And now, do you do this? How do you do this? I mean, you know, we've all changed the way we do things since the pandemic. So do you do this online? Were you always online? Did you do this in person? Because we spoke before the show, and of course you're on the West Coast, I'm on the East Coast. So, you know, with the internet, we touch the world really, right? So how do you work with people? Yeah, through Zoom.
Through Zoom. Zoom is wonderful.
It
has
is.
opened up the world.
Yeah, it is. Right. We can touch all parts of the world, right? And they can touch us. That's the wonder of the internet and its reach to people.
Yes.
And so you work online. And now, do you have groups? Like, do you have social media groups? Or, for example, how would somebody find out what you're doing?
Facebook.
And I know you have a YouTube channel also.
I have a YouTube channel. I have a Facebook group. And let me just double check real quick what the name of it is, because for some reason I have.
And I will definitely list it in the comments. I like to put the information in there for everyone listening, that they can, see what the guest speakers are doing and what they're offering.
It is ascend, up level your psychic and spiritual abilities, because I don't think they're psychic gifts. I think they're psychic abilities.
Yes.
You know, when we call them gifts, it's like there's something different. But every one of us can learn to read. Some athletes have amazing abilities,
Right.
but every one of us can run, unless you have a particular issue.
Right.
Every one of us can tap in to these psychic abilities. It is just a human ability. It's not something that a few of us have.
Right. I'm assuming some people, maybe it was better in tune for them as
I'm
opposed
not
to others.
visual.
Right.
I know some people have certain abilities higher than others.
Yes.
So you may be visual.
No, I'm not. Not at all. I'm
So-
one of the I'm right. That's why I said earlier, I'm just one of those ones that just know. They
So you're
just
like
know I
me.
don't. It's not a voice. It's not a vision. It's not a sound, or it's just there.
And, you know, that's one of the hardest, because you think it's your own thought, or you think it's not real. It's one of the hardest to actually acknowledge and believe, because you don't think it's real when you just know it.
Right. Right. And lots of times you try to rationalize it, maybe.
Yes.
So, which is also an issue. But I think I'm assuming for people who see, it might be easier for them to acknowledge it. Because,
And yet it can
like
be
you
really
said, you think it's
scary.
maybe your thoughts. Yeah. You know, and then of course you don't want to solicit any information towards anybody. I find that's a big issue. Personally, I find that's a big issue, because you don't want to ever be spouting out anything that you might think that you know. I'm assuming that if somebody sees somebody I've heard that before. If somebody sees someone standing next to a person, it might be maybe easier to say that than if they just believe they know something. You're not that comfortable maybe with saying something out loud.
Until you really start to trust that what you know is not just being made up in your head. And yet what you know is as real as what they see.
Right.
It is as real as anything.
And so now people come to you because they're looking for a reading, correct? That's what they're coming to you for, as opposed to being in the group. Or do you do anything privately? for anyone.
Most people come to me is because they want to get to know what their soul's purpose is. They want to know
Their
who
own,
they
right.
are, what they are, what their
Mhm.
purpose in this world, in this, why they've come into this body. They want to know who they are, why they're here. And that is what they come to me for.
Right.
The other
Right.
thing
As
they
opposed to
me-
you, right. You read, yeah, them coming for you to give them information more or less of
and
what
I
you
work,
see.
well, I work with them to
Mhm.
facilitate them figuring it out.
Yeah.
I work with people on the long
Yes,
term.
well, right. I mean, but that's really a mentor. I know you say you're not really a teacher, but you really are, right? Because
Yes,
you're helping them to see it for themselves,
right.
right? About themselves. Yeah. Which is a mentor, a teacher.
Yeah,
You know, it's that's, and I'm assuming that when people come, some of them maybe are questioning more so, right? More questioning than skeptical. Because I'm sure that skeptical people don't even go to find out anything, right? Or they're not searching.
right. They're usually questioning,
Mhm.
they're open, they're really wanting answers.
Mhm.
Generally, they're in a fair bit of pain.
Mhm. Yes, right.
They've looked
One
in a
way
lot
or
of
another.
places.
Yes. Right. One way or another, they're in pain. And I'm sure, you know, they've tried other traditional methods. And
Right.
do you find that a lot of them that when they begin to learn how to do it, that they almost become unblocked, or
Oh,
that their, you know, their chi flows and
oh
they start to
yes.
feel better?
They open up their throats. A lot of them, so many of them, their throats open and they find who they are and how to speak their truth. And then they learn to love themselves and their heart opens. And, you know, one of their fears so often is that they will lose their relationships in their life. However, what I have found happens so often is that as they learn to love themselves, they open up the relationships in their life.
Mhm.
And they really become open to the people that are already
Mhm.
there. Because as they love themselves, they become open to receive the love that has been there all the time. They don't,
Which
they
I think is right,
actually,
difficult, right? When many people first start, it's difficult to believe that, right? Or it's difficult to see that that may be what will occur.
yeah. At first, they think that they're going to lose everybody through
Mhm.
this journey. And instead, even if there are still differences, they
Mhm.
find that these differences
Right.
become negotiable,
Mhm.
that it's not a my way or the highway anymore.
Mhm.
It's a,
Mhm.
oh, I'm fine with you going there, and you're fine with them going their way.
Mhm.
And now you can walk together. Even if your paths are slightly different,
Mhm.
you can allow each other to travel your own pathway, but you can travel it together.
So now let
It's,
me ask you, where do you think someone, if someone wants to start, say they're listening to this today, and maybe they're even questioning, where do you start? I mean, we spoke a little bit about chakras. We spoke, of course, about the seven, but we now have mentioned so many more, which I think sometimes when people hear that it frightens them, right? It's like, oh my gosh, you know, I barely know the seven, or I barely just learned that there are seven. Now there's hundreds. How am I going to learn that? Or we talked about Qigong and using that, you know, energy healing through Qigong. And, you know, of course, with Qigong, there's the Dantian and all these other things. And that also frightens people
it's
when they have to
really,
learn new terms. Where do you think someone should start when they're really searching?
you know, I think one of the best places to start is with meditation. And it's with finding a way to meditate that works for them.
Mhm.
And it isn't, I have to sit down and sit still for 30 minutes. It's finding a way to find their quiet place. And it can be for 2 minutes.
Mhm.
An amazing way to meditate is you cross your pinkies, you take your thumbs and you connect your thumbs, you steeple your fingers. So your
Yes.
hands are like this. And then you close your eyes. And for about a minute, you imagine your favorite animal, your favorite place at the beach, your a tree you love. It doesn't matter what it is. You just go to something that you love. So this is a particular energetic 1 minute.
Mhm.
This will calm and change your energy. That
That's
is
really the purpose, right? The purpose is to begin to change the energy.
right. That is a perfect meditation for someone who can't meditate.
Mhm.
1 minute is all you're looking at.
Right. And
You
I'm
don't,
assuming it builds up, right? If you're doing 1 minute and you're practicing 1 minute, it eventually builds up for
yeah,
people.
exactly.
And I think that there's a host of reasons, right? I mean, some people feel like it's wasting time. Other people feel like it's taking too much time away from something, or that they're too selfish to take that time for themselves. There's a host of reasons.
There's
Some people say their mind doesn't stop, and so they feel that that's a problem.
right. That's the one I hear a lot is my mind just won't stop.
Yeah.
I think really a really good place to start is meditation.
Mhm.
Other people tell me they just get really scared because when they start to tune into the spiritual, they have all this stuff that comes in
Right.
because they really are connected.
Mhm.
And as soon as
Mhm.
they allow it in, they start their visual or
Right.
they
Yes. They
hear
become fearful.
and they become
Yeah.
fearful because they get bombarded.
Mhm.
That you need to learn how to shield, you need to learn. And
Mhm.
these people really do need a mentor. And I
Mhm.
always tell them,
Yes.
anybody who tells you it has to be me, run really
Right.
fast,
Right. Exactly.
but get into a group, either like mine or there are, I mean, like on
Mm.
Facebook, there are so many.
Yes. Right.
There are other places, Discord has them.
Yes.
Um,
Yes. Reddit also, I believe there's groups in
yeah,
Reddit as well. And the thing is that you can try many different groups and many different people and learn many different techniques, because everybody has more of some of their favorites, some that don't necessarily work for them, some that work
exactly.
better. Yeah.
And find somebody who resonates with you. I'm going to resonate with some people.
Mhm.
You need some, and there are going to be people out there that are scam artists,
Yes.
and there are going to be people out there that are really, really good.
Mhm.
If you find somebody who's a scam artist, don't decide that everybody out there is a scam artist.
Right. Right.
And
And
if
I
you
think that
find
we have more of ability now, right? Because of the internet, we have more, or at least I'm noticing a lot of that information coming to the fore because of the internet, that we can learn, I guess, more about who others think are good or worth trying, or
well,
maybe that some are
yeah,
not that honest.
and you're going to find that different people have different opinions. So it's, as I say, stay in somebody's environment for a while before you spend money with them.
Right.
Even mine. Don't come in, see me 3 times, and invest with me. Come in,
Mhm.
come to my lives, do my confident psychic.
Mhm.
spend some time in my energy. See if I resonate with you.
Right. And it's true because not everybody, and it's not because there's something wrong. It's just that sometimes some energy goes with other energy and other times it doesn't. And you'll find
Exactly.
the person that's right for you.
And you want the person that's going to help you to open and to feel good
Mm-hmm.
and to be willing to go deep within, because this is an inward journey. It may seem like an outward journey, but it's really an inward journey, because as you're connecting to your angels, to your guides,
Mm-hmm.
as you're learning to channel, as you're learning to bring all this in, it's an inward journey. You're going to release your shadows. You're going to have to face things that are uncomfortable. And you need somebody that you're going to trust to hold you as you go to places that are uncomfortable to go to. And when you do this, you are going to learn to love yourself. You're going to learn to embrace parts of you that you did not think were worthy. And you're going to find who you are, why you're here, what your purpose is. And you're going to find that this life is absolutely amazing.
Now, I do have one question because you've been doing this for many, many years, and you did mention guides and angels. Do you find through your experience and with working with others that everybody has different types of guides or different types of angels? Because I hear that some people say angels, some people say guides, some people say other beings. Do you find that that is the case with different people?
I find that everybody has angels. We all have a guardian angel. It's up to us to request angels to come in as our helpers. Angels will not come in without an invitation. It is up to us to invite angels in. Now, we all have an archangel that identifies with us. How much they come in is kind of up to us. I work very closely with the Archangel Michael. And sometimes my invitations to him are overt, and other times they are higher self. I met my archangel when I was teaching. I really didn't believe in archangels. This was one of the few occasions where I was visual.
Mhm.
I had a student who was on the spectrum, undiagnosed,
Mhm.
and I taught second grade. There were times, most of the time, I was pretty on top of everything. However, every so often, with a full classroom of kids, you would get busy on one side of the classroom, and on the other side of the classroom, something would get out of sync. And this little boy got frustrated, and all of a sudden, things started flying. And I got everybody behind me and got one kid out the door to go grab the principal.
Mhm.
And first it was books flying, and then it was chairs flying, and all of a sudden, nothing could get past this invincible wall right in front of me. I mean, things were literally
Mhm.
stopping. And then I saw the Archangel Michael. As I say, I'm rarely visual, but I literally saw him stopping the things before they could get to me. And he big wings, and he said, "You're safe. The kids are safe. I got you." And the desks started flying, and he was stopping them and putting them
Mhm.
down. And And this little boy was getting more and more frustrated. Principal got there, got the kid. And that's the day I started believing in angels.
Wow. Yeah, that's amazing that you said that you didn't believe in them before.
Yeah.
Because I do hear some people, and I've had some on the show too, that speak about other beings or otherworldly beings. They don't necessarily call them angels. Some people just call them guides. And where
Well,
they
that
come from.
was
Some have called it their higher self too. I've
that
had one
was
or two people on that called it their higher self or their
uh,
higher knowing or
there.
yeah.
I differentiate between otherworldly beings, guides. Guides are, and my understanding of guides is that they are beings like you and I that have chosen not to incorporate in a physical body. They have come in to offer their services in this lifetime. And they are experts in something, so they come in to offer their services and to learn on that in that manner. So they work with us in whatever manner we need help. And they offer their services in that way. So angels serve one purpose, guides serve this purpose as a mentor. Otherworldly beings come in from other planets, other galaxies, and
Right.
they can serve as guides, they can serve as advisors. So angels, I tell people, your angels, you can take their advice pretty much as trustworthy. Guides, you need to put what they give you through your filters and decide whether it is information you want to take as gospel or whether you want to, how you want to accept it and use their data as something you figure how you want to take it.
Now, because you didn't believe in them before, I do have a question. When this archangel showed up, like, do they, I mean, you say he had wings, so, and that was one of the times you were visual, but like, do they tell you who they are? I mean, I know that for all intents and purposes, and I think I've mentioned this on the show a long time ago, most of the major religions of the world discuss angels. So I'm wondering all the time, like, is it because other people saw them, or did they say that that's who they were, or I'm just
it came into my head as a knowing as to who he was. I
okay.
saw him, but it came in as a
Right.
unusual way of
Right.
knowing.
Right.
Sean was at this point, Sean was about 12. So this was very early in my journey.
Right. Yeah, I just was wondering, like, do they say anything? Do they know? Because I often wonder when people say God, and I've heard this many times, you know, my guides or my angels, but I'm wondering, could guides ever be, because you said that they are like us, but have chosen not to come here. Were there ever any guides out there that were beings that were here that did come to the planet as a human being, and then once they've left, they departed, they come back, so that can happen as well?
Oh yes, some of them could have been from other planets, other places. They
that I've heard too.
They can be from here.
Yeah, I'm thinking that might frighten people too sometimes, that sometimes they're maybe nervous if they encounter.
With guides, you really need to send their information through your filters, because they are not always 100% working in your best interest. Sometimes they are working in their best interest.
Oh, wow, that's interesting to know. Yeah, that's really interesting, because you would hope that that's not the case, but it can be.
A majority of times they are honorable beings. And not 100%.
Wow. So now with all this going on, where do you go from here? You have the YouTube channel, you have the group on Facebook, you work with people. Is there anything else that you're in the process of doing or see yourself going with this? Because this is a tremendous full-time job.
I love it. I work very closely with my son. He will be taking a bigger and bigger role. And he just did a thing on the divine masculine. We are hoping to bring more and more men into this movement.
Why do you think that is, that there's not that many men, or that more women seem to be gravitating towards this knowing or this work?
I think in part there is so much talk about the divine feminine. There is very little talk about the divine masculine. And I think men feel they feel excluded. They do not feel included. And I think it's very important that we start to include them.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the places I go, most of the things I do are women working with women.
Mm-hmm.
I work with men as well.
Right.
I think it is so important that this movement become
Mm-hmm.
an inclusive movement where men are, the divine masculine becomes celebrated.
Mm-hmm.
Because the divine feminine is the energy that moves, but without the container that holds it, it flows into nowhere.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that many men are maybe fearful to even open these doors because they've been taught differently?
They are fearful of not being accepted. They are fearful of not being wanted. They are fearful that women don't accept them in their wholeness. They are also fearful that they don't know how to be this divine masculine person and who he is, because we have been so anchored in toxic masculinity for so long. And divine masculinity is not taught. The divine feminine is taught. And it's taught as if men are supposed to be in their divine feminine.
Right.
But we don't want our men in their divine feminine. We want our men in their divine masculine.
Right.
We don't need our men to be, men and women both have both.
Yes.
But we need our men to be honed into their divine masculine, while our women are in their divine feminine and both able to tap into the women need to be able to tap into their divine masculine, while the men need to be able to tap into their divine feminine.
Yes.
But just as we don't need our women in their toxic feminine side,
right,
we need to teach our men how to be in this divine masculine.
And how do you see this going? Do you see that we're on that path?
Well, Sean and I are trying to lead it. And I'm so glad that I've got Sean with me, because how does a woman get up and teach men how to be divine masculine?
Right.
So I'm really glad that I've got Sean with me to help lead that charge. And I'm hoping to pull other men that are in movement into leading that charge along with him. That's
wonderful, because yes, we do need it.
These
do indeed need it.
These young men today, these young men, young women, these kids today are so amazing. they call them neurodivergent.
Mm-hmm.
They have this ability to connect with each other that is absolutely phenomenal. They're built to connect in a way that we're not.
All right.
It's once they really come into their own and they are able to get past this trauma that has been imposed upon them, they are going to be almost able to link like a supercomputer.
Oh, that'd be wonderful. And I do want to ask you, what words do you have for this? Since we're talking about the young and the future generations, do you have some words for them today? What would you like to say to them?
To claim their I and to not let anyone tell them that they are less, that what has been called their issues, their problems, are their gifts, that their autism, their ADHD, these are their upgrades. These are the ways that humanity is moving forward, and that they are to embrace them and find their pods and figure out who they link with. Because I'm covered in goosebumps as I say this, that as they can find their pods and who are the correct ones for them to link with, what they can create is going to be more amazing than what any supercomputer will ever be able to come up with.
Well, I want to thank you, first of all, for coming on the show and talking about some of these topics with me. I would love to have you back on, especially with your son. I'm so interested in seeing how this movement goes, especially because he's taking more of an active role and he is involved with the divine masculine and making that his mission out there. So, and I would definitely like to have you on again because these topics are so fascinating. And because you've been doing this and on the planet for so long, I so appreciate you taking the time to speak to the audience today.
Oh, I would love to do that. I would love to just make sure your audience knows I'm doing a Divine Psychic Clarity Edition.
Yes.
From August 5th to the 8th. And I would love to invite them to join me. It will be on YouTube. I will send you the invite where
Yes,
they can
please.
sign up for it. And I would
Yes.
absolutely love to have your audience come and join us.
Oh, that'll be wonderful. And I would definitely
completely
list
free.
everything. Yes. Oh, I will definitely list all of that. In the description for the channel, it will have all of your contacts and it will have that information as well. And I do encourage everyone to listen to Deirdre. I will definitely link her YouTube channel and to listen to what she has to say. It's fascinating and she's been doing this a long time. So again, I thank you for coming on today and helping us to see a lot more with open eyes and open minds. I thank you, Deirdre.
Namaste.
Same to you. Thank you.